pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For anybody who's here new, we have two exits. One over here. Thomas, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Okay. Did everyone get the minutes from on Friday? No, that's the civic minutes. I have a question. Does anybody have any?
Can't help you with those.
Any comments or additions, subtractions?
No.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Deputy Supervisor Szymanski,
Yes.
can you report on what's going on with EMS?
Yes, I've got February's statistics, which I distributed to the board, and they'll be posted on our website also. So there were a total of 66 calls for the month, 1 on the Hutch, 24 in Pelham, 32 in Pelham Manor, 2 in New Rochelle, which these are mutual aids, those, okay? Tuckahoe, Eastchester, Mount Vernon, and Bronxville. We did 10 mutual aid calls in the month of February. Which, yeah, we did, which will bode us well if we need mutual aid. So whenever Mark, they can do it, they do it. As you can see, it was pretty close. The average response time for both the ambulance and the fly car is 4.98 minutes, under 5 minutes.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
Can't be 9, 8 minutes.
4.98 seconds,
Well, 60 seconds is a minute.
sorry. Yeah.
It's a percentage of it. Yes,
Right,
you can do
right.
that. Right. It's a
That's
percentage.
right.
It's not 4 minutes and
Yeah,
98
yeah.
seconds. It's 4.98
Okay.
minutes.
I'll
So,
go.
Math major.
A math major.
yeah, major.
Average on the scene, meaning at the site, 19.94. Transporting, 13.7. And the turnaround time is not a good number. It's almost 30 minutes. Which means when the ambulance gets to the hospital and wants to turn the patient over to the hospital staff, an average of 30 minutes wait time. There is one hospital in particular that is high on the offense list, but Mark is working with their case managers, their nurse case managers in the ER to try to make an improvement. So
One
Just-
of them, 87 minutes at
Yes.
that hospital.
yes,
Mhm.
that's the hospital. Yes, that's the hospital, but he would rather let him work behind the scenes right now.
But it looked like there were a couple of hospitals that
Yes,
had
there's a couple of
issues.
them, but
Yeah,
one's the
yeah.
biggest offender. 10% of our patients were able to go to White Plains Hospital, which he said a lot of residents in the manor asked for White Plains Hospital, and he was happy that we were able to accommodate that trip up there for them. They
Well,
went to
and that will
add a
make
little
the-
more time.
Right,
yeah,
the transport time
Right.
goes up then.
right.
You know, it's a good 25 minutes up there, 20 minutes.
They went to Jacoby twice also.
The lights on.
Yeah, with your lights on.
Right.
Marcus
Still,
would like to come probably to the April meeting, and I asked him, he and I are gonna work on, he's gonna do a little presentation for us.
Right.
So we get a little more familiar with the inner workings, how it's going, where it's going. He said he's had cooperation from all departments, police and fire in both villages, and things are going very well. So, if you have any questions? Sam looks like he has a question.
What surprises me is how many trips turned into a hospital trip. So in that month, this past month, 46 of those turned into transportation. 70% of the calls turned into transportation.
That's a good stat to know.
And 8 refused medical attention. So if you take out the 8 with that refused medical attention, it's almost like 75-80% required transportation, which I wouldn't have thought it was that much.
I think when you call the ambulance, when you call
ambulance, you expect to go to the emergency room. I mean, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
If I could get driven or drive myself, I don't think I'd call an ambulance.
Yeah, but on the other
Yeah.
side of that, when you have it, like, and an ambulance come over, if it's just something,
They can settle right there.
exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway,
So the ambulance, as you all know, is still in the parking lot here, and the staff inhabits the guild room for the 12 hours that they are here. And then it goes to Eastchester at night.
and there is an ongoing review of things that we
Could do.
could do. I mean, literally, we're talking about it almost on a daily, if not a weekly basis. There's so many things that I don't want to talk about right now because they're so preliminary. And I just think it would, too early, yeah.
The other thing that I love about Eastchester is they are willing and always able to do community events. They did Augusta's community event. They did a colonial community event where the kids climbed all over the ambulance. Mark did it with Phil over there. They are willing and able to do anything here that we would like them to do.
I think the Girl Scouts did one too.
Probably. He'll entertain anything. Kristen had asked me about volunteers and would they do training
Through the high school.
through the high school. There's an age requirement,
Okay.
so Mark was going to look into some of that. But yeah, I mean, you call him, he calls you back immediately, and you just get wonderful response from them. So as far as I'm concerned, it's gone very well. We are almost complete in the process to get our NPI number, which is called your National Provider Identification Number, our Medicaid number, and our Medicare number to be able to bill eventually. Samantha and Rudy have helped gather all the information, the bank information, the accounts, and so we're just waiting now. They haven't asked for anything else.
That's for the people that are doing the billing.
Yes. We don't do the billing. We contract out for the billing. And the medical record also is contracted out. We don't see any of that at all.
Questions? Thank you, Ray.
You're welcome.
Councilwoman McLaughlin on Recreation and busy.
The seniors were incredibly busy for the month of February and even more to come for the month of March. They had exercise and yoga classes that were all at close to capacity. They have their Monday meetings. They have bridge, canasta, mahjong, a new pottery class. Bingo with the Girl Scouts, that was a one-time event. A visit from the Village of Pelham Manor Mayor, Jennifer Lapey, and a Valentine's Day lunch, courtesy of the town.
Maybe I should.
So that was a lot going on and a lot more coming. There were 3 trips in the van to medical appointments. The Pelham Recreation Department is sponsoring 2 first aid, CPR, and AED training sessions. One tomorrow, Tuesday, March 5th at 6:30, and another Sunday, April 7th at 9 a.m.
I heard they were
Both are
full.
at capacity,
They are full, yeah.
and we are working to get another day.
Great.
Which will be, they have enough for another class on the wait list. So they're definitely working on that. It's just a timing and a cost issue. Because it's a free training for anybody who goes. There will be a sexual abuse prevention and identification class for directors and head counselors of the summer camps. And that will most likely be in June.
Is that a new?
Yes.
That's when we talked about it coming together. No?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's through the county.
Because just that
Yeah.
when Karen and I were at the meeting, I think that was talked about how those people that are that close to the individual might be more aware something's going on, and if you teach them,
How to ask the questions and
And how
what to
to
look
observe.
for.
Identify.
Read the signs, yeah.
Okay,
we know it's a
that's
great
good.
idea.
Yeah. So that's gonna happen in, probably June, after they've established everybody who's gonna do it. We have 2 additional AED machines, which have already been delivered. One will be stationed at Friendship Field and the other at Richie Bell Field. And those are property of the Recreation Department. We will also have on order an additional portable one, and that will go around to the camps and also on the golf cart that's at the Glover Field. So that's gonna be good. And also one that goes, they'll use one for the bus for when they go on field trips at the camps. Winter basketball winds down this week. It was a huge, huge success. All the kids had a great time. Registration for spring programs is open. Most of the programs start the week after spring break, which I think is April 2nd it will start. The recreation summer day camp is already full. It hit capacity 20 minutes after registration.
You're kidding me.
Nope. A couple
Wow.
of people, you had to enroll each child individually, so a couple, they allowed siblings
Because
to
they-
go to
yeah.
make sure,
Oh,
because
that's
they had to start all over with the new ones, so they were allowed to do that. Big Tots will be held at Pelham Memorial High School. There is still availability in that. Tiny Tots registration opens on March 11th. That will be held at 3 different locations, Colonial and Simonoy schools, and also Prospect Hill. At Colonial and Simonoy, it will start on July 1st, but at Prospect, it won't start until July 8th due to construction at the school right after school year ends. The Board of Education voted to enter into negotiations about Julianne's Playground with the Village of Pelham. Nobody really knows what that means and where it is, but I'll focus my attention on it just to make sure, however we're involved, because of the tennis and the pickleball courts. And lastly, a huge addition to the overall town, Shea Station is open and operating. And they had a ribbon cutting on Saturday, and it was wall-to-wall people. You couldn't move, it was packed. And Shay was over the moon excited, welcoming everyone, and Humphrey family's thrilled.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. It
That's
was
at
really
the,
great.
that's the old steam at the.
Yeah, at the train
Metro North,
station.
yeah.
And that's it.
So Karen, to
Yeah.
add, I ran into Diane at basketball. My daughter did the basketball program and loved it on Friday. And she mentioned to me that she went to a meeting with the school district regarding the Hutch Field and sort of the issues regarding the, sort of lack of usability of that field.
Mm-hmm.
And what Diane conveyed was apparently there's a giant rock underneath
Yes.
the fields. And so they can't dig, they can't do much with the current space there. So they're trying to think of other ideas.
I
But
didn't know they would do that.
I think it's like that rock that's up Washington. You know
Oh,
that rock?
in
Yeah.
front
It's
of the
kinda like
person's
that.
house?
Yeah.
I think. So they're tossing ideas around.
Yeah.
Where the school was built, where the school is built, there was a big rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was in left field, left
Yeah,
center.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah, but I guess it's expensive. Like, it's not that they couldn't do it, right? But
Right.
it's more money than they probably want to spend to have the
But
fields.
that's strange to me considering that field space in this town is so, any green space in this
I
town
know.
is.
I know.
So to me that, so what if it costs another $50,000? The bond would, what's to
of the discussion points is the Spring Road fields. So the town has a now expired MOU with
The city
the
of New
city
York.
of New York, and we'd love to, or we, because I'm a travel parent, soccer parent, I should say, but they would love to beautify that field and really use that. Maybe you could use it for other activities, rec, everything, but it's in very, very bad shape, but they
Yeah.
still use it, and it's not,
They need to level it.
yeah,
It kind of was like this.
yeah, level it,
You
but
have
they
the goal-
can't,
If you're defending the goal uphill, you
you're
do
like,
a lot
yes,
better.
and it's all dirt, and they can't put, they don't, there's no, sprinklers or anything, so that would be a dream if we could do something with that from the town or the Pelham Travel Soccer, right?
Last time Tom didn't even get a person to answer.
I know.
Oh, it was,
I
I mean,
know.
Yeah.
they sent us the license agreement.
By like the Pelham
We signed it, sent it back,
Oh.
and they never returned it.
Behind-
And
behind the-
finally, they were like, we're changing our forms, so we'll get you something
the
new.
Bronx.
And, you know, it's years ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's unfortunate,
And so then they were like, just continue as if, you know,
which is,
so we're kind of like month-to-month license.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
I have a contact at Brad Lambert's office, who's the controller of the city. Is it at his office?
It's a park.
The parks,
Parks,
there's
yeah.
city parks, if anybody knows
Oh,
someone there.
you know what? I'll ask Amy Platt who their contact. She used to work for them.
Okay, that would be great, yeah.
They're located over by the Bronx River Parkway. I sat in the meeting with them.
Aren't they in the old, in an
If
armory?
we cut one of those trees, we gotta put up like 6
Yeah.
houses.
That's right, I
Yeah,
remember
if you think
that.
it looks bad now,
You should have seen what it looked
There are
like.
abandoned cars.
I sat in that meeting.
It's a long time ago.
Oh, it was a long time ago.
That was Joe Salamini,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Okay, any questions for Councilman William McLaughlin?
No?
Little Tots is what age? What age?
Up to 6 years old.
Up to 6.
Tiny tots.
Tiny
Tiny
tots.
tots.
And they have to be 3 and they have to be well.
Right.
They have to be potty trained.
And then after 6, you can go to regular rec camp?
Yep, or
Big tots.
that's
Big tots.
7 through 12
There's only half day.
age. Right, yeah, Big Tots is half day, day camp is full. And
Thank you.
it's reasonably priced
It's the best
vis-a-vis
deal.
everything
It's the
else.
best deal in
So-
town. My son went every year.
Okay,
Best
Councilwoman Burke.
Okay, so, update from the courts, the constables, I'm gonna start with that, the great news is the constable car is, it looks like it looks a lot like the EMS fly car, actually, to be honest, so, van or whatever we're gonna call it is up and running.
Well, it's interesting you said that, because before that flooded the fly car, we were going to take that fly car and make it a.
Well, there you go, so, something in the water.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's up and running, so they're thrilled. The constables are in the process of replacing the 2 who left, 2 months ago. I've, been talking to Chief Conte, they have some people in mind, they're in process of speaking to some people, some candidates, I should say. Justice Kagan visited the jail and juvenile holding facility, he's required to do that every 4 years, so he wanted us to let everybody know that he's done that. Our town attorney, Tom Kleinberger, has agreed to serve as the town prosecutor.
Oh, my
All
God.
Right.
We brought up last month, I believe, that there were some issues with speeding tickets that weren't being addressed, the state and county, because people weren't, they didn't have people available to present those cases, so Tom has graciously agreed to serve in that role. It is
It's like a
once.
pilot project. If it takes like all day, I can't.
Of course, absolutely.
We're gonna adjust this swiftly and surely and out of there by 8:30.
Right. So it's once a month. It should be a very short, limited time period, and he's in the process now of scheduling the session. I think it's March 27th. So I'll be in touch with more information on that. And Dan, should I give an update on the Metropolitan? Okay. So Dan and I, this is a continuing discussion regarding the Glover Field Hutch ramps pedestrian safety concern. Supervisor McLaughlin and I met with the New York Metropolitan Transportation Council via Zoom this past week. It was an impressive group of people. They have individuals from the Rutgers School of Planning and Public Policy. And joining us was also Dr. Champ, Jim Rickey, and John Condon from the Pelham Schools. And so we discussed, and they gave us a presentation. So basically, this is a part of now a community workshop, community planning workshop program. And so basically, we're going to be commencing this program. It will involve a community-wide survey, a site survey, and ultimately they are going to provide a report, and they are going to give us ideas on grant funding availability to assist us to pay for the project. We've conveyed, especially Supervisor McLaughlin conveyed how time is really of the essence. It's a significant danger, and so they're actually coming for a site visit. We had a date picked today. They came back. They need a few more options. So it's going to be within the next couple of weeks, and it's going to be at a time when the students are out of school, walking into that, so that everybody can see, the sort of the danger.
At dismissal time.
Dismissal
Great.
time.
Perfect.
Thank you. Yep.
And you know what? In a couple of weeks is better because then sports will.
Sports will.
Exactly, Kara. The one piece that Dr. Champ focused, so they talk about this being part of the Safe Schools program or zone, so that's sort of the focus. They have Safe Town, Safe, different
Right.
names, but this is Safe Schools. And Dr. Champ pointed out she would also like them to analyze the library intersection, in front of the high school, as, a natural sort of path towards the Glover Field area. So, and I think that's a really fantastic idea. So when they come for the site visit, we're going to be looking at those two areas, and all the issues and the lighting and the sidewalks crumbling and the buttons pressing but not actually working. So I think we're off to a really good start with this.
I'll let you know that date when we come. I have to say, when we opened the Zoom meeting Wednesday, Tuesday, whatever day it was, and I just wanted to know how did they get involved, because
Yeah.
I all of a sudden these people called us and said us the text message, can we meet with you on Zoom? And in the end, it was probably because of Kristen's letter that got sent to George, and George came down to that on-site when Kara was there.
Right.
And George, somebody from his office, obviously went out and said, you gotta send talk to these people. So I think it's a real jump in getting people
Something done.
something.
Yeah, County Executive Latimer at that site visit we all did, that Supervisor McLaughlin and I did, he didn't even see half of it and was appalled. So he was willing to commit a lot. So
He
I'm
put three
really
of his
glad
people
he's
down with him,
expedited
too.
this.
And we did a follow-up letter, actually, now that I remember,
Right.
after that,
That's
what he wanted a wish list of,
Right.
immediate action items and then potential future items. So we set forth, with everybody's input, our immediate, demands or expectations or hopes, whatever you want to
Right.
call it.
I think that's the letter they probably got.
That's probably
Yeah.
right, yeah.
So it was,
That was a
it
good
was
letter.
good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Good work.
All right. Oh, so I have to do my reports as well. Okay, so receiver of taxes for the month of February 2024. County taxes for 2023 received were $2,228.11. County taxes for, nope, nothing, sorry, ignore me. Is that supposed to be 24? This
I
might
don't
be,
have it in front of me. Do you have the,
Form.
do you have the,
The form has not been updated.
No, I do not.
Oh, it's for the year.
She just gave me
Yeah.
whatever to give to
I would
Kristen.
imagine, because then this still has 22.
Yeah, so this should
So it's
be
probably 24. Okay. We'll get that right. Okay. And, okay, so school taxes received are $3,737,151.94. School collection fee of $31,392.41. Refunds were $212.92. Penalties and interest are $32,790.78. Taxpayers agreement, $2,328.97. Miscellaneous, $309. Pro rata is $5,746.55 for a total of $3,811,792.97. $734.84.
I'd like to make a point on, understanding the dates are incorrect, but even if that date was correct, 2024, and 2023, we don't really collect town taxes until April.
Oh, right, that's right.
So we live on our reserves on January, February, March, and April.
Right.
So just, anyway.
Yep. And the judges' reports for the month of January 24, Justice Kagan received an amount of $43,835. I saw in the minutes that we did do January, right? Maura?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, so these might be a repeat, because this was for January. Oh no, this one, the judges' reports. I did see the judge. Oh yeah, here. Let me just see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so oh no. Maybe this was December. Apologies. Okay, we're always a little bit behind. That's right. Okay, sorry. For January of 2024, Justice Kagan received an amount of $43,835, and Justice Gardner for January 2024 received an amount of $29,250. Sorry about that.
Any questions? Thank you, Kristen.
You're welcome.
Councilwoman Curtin on the library, and you should also put in today's thing.
Okay.
Okay.
So the library had a snafu this past month with their heat. There's 3 heating systems on the roof of the library, and one of them, a part went out and caused the library to not be well heated, and the library staff was amazing with all of that, and the fire department was amazing, and Phil DeSimone, who is our facilities manager, was amazing, and they got the part, rushed here via truck over a holiday weekend from the Midwest to get the library back and up and running. And the staff actually went into the library last Tuesday and Wednesday and wore like Parker's fingerless gloves and had space heaters because it was mud week, and you know there's so they just basically put in some of their COVID protocols to make sure that the library patrons got what they needed.
That's great.
Books or digital or return or whatever that was. So really big thank you, and on behalf of our library director Augusta, to all the folks involved who helped. The EMS went to the library, our ambulance went to the library to check the staff because there was high levels of CO2 at the time when the heat kind of was out. So everyone checked out. So I think I captured that whole scenario, but just really great job in making that out of a bad situation. But it happens. The heat, you know, as we all probably experience in our own older homes, the heat goes at times. So this month at the library is celebrating Women's History Month. There's a list of resources and media and books on their website. This is kind of fun. Joe Rayo, the meteorologist, is going to be doing a Zoom on March 12th about the solar eclipse that's happening April 8th, 2024 in this hemisphere. So you can't see it from Pelham, but you can travel pretty closely. You can go to Long Island, but tune in March 12th because Joe will tell you where to go.
I think it's like Albany.
Yeah, it's like upstate, but I think it's also Long Island.
Oh.
Parts of Long Island, you're going to be able to see some of it.
Partial.
Yeah, partial, but close enough. We, Supervisor McLaughlin and I had a meeting with Ruth Ann DeSimone joined, as well as Art Cinta, our town historian, with Danielle DeVito from the Pencil Project on the renovation next door and putting together photographs and plans that we need to submit to New York State so that we can become approved for the grant that we were allotted, but now we just need to pass through. So that's in progress. And I think we're pretty far along with the plans of it as far as being able to submit a plan, even though it might not be finalized, and then we can take it from there. Did I capture that?
I think the big thing that was on these plans was what Maura and Phil looked at was the kitchen, the bathrooms, and some storage.
Yeah.
And I thought the kitchen thing was pretty cool.
Yeah.
opening up into the town.
Oh, that's
So smart.
so you can hand stuff through.
Yeah, you can
You
walk
actually
through.
walk through.
We're gonna close the door by the other entrance, so
other
that just becomes a hallway. But this is funny, these were in the original plans, which are dug up, or Danielle, one of them dug it up, and they were in the original plans, and I guess it just didn't, something happened, it didn't get finished. But there's actually a doorway there, so that will be, I think, a good improvement to that space as using it for community center.
So in the end, she still has to get that thing to you, so you can send it in to the
Yes,
people at
Yes.
the
New York State Historical
Historical.
Preservation Office. So,
Any
Not a lot,
questions
this
for
is-
Maura? Okay, thank you, Maura.
thank you.
Okay, so I want to update on certain things. I'd like to personally thank Samantha. Samantha worked very, very hard on getting a FEMA COVID grant for the money we spent,
Oh, I was gonna say,
and some of it was reimbursable. We think a lot of it that wasn't accepted should have been reimbursable. For instance, was not accepted. The price for all our Zoom calls. Now, if we didn't have COVID, we wouldn't have been on Zoom calls. But they
right.
they got rid of that. We use Next Step Computers, Joe, to do the webcam and to take care of the laptops and make sure these people could work at home. They disallowed all of that, which I both Samantha and I don't think they should have. However, that being said, she was able to put together a program, and out of the $53,246 that we requested, they only denied $20,437, so we'll get a check for about $30,000
Great.
the fees that, and I thank Samantha for putting that together. The constable grant, I finally got all the bills. It was $85,000. And I went to DASNY and they told me all the things I had to do, which was this much.
Oh, my
man.
And I did that on February 19th. You had to send them all the checks, you had to send them all the invoices, you had to send them their forms, which are all crazy forms. Anyway, $85,000. I hope to get it within the next 90 days. What do you think? All right.
We should save that so we can
Oh, I
just
did.
keep using
I
it for the
did.
next project and the next project with the.
Well, the next
Format of it.
next one is the ambulance.
Yeah.
The ambulance still has not been approved for the 300 from Fernandez. The 150 we have approved from Amy Pauling. And we received an email from Fernandez's office on January 9th, and we received it again on most recently. And they said that we received it again on February 22nd. And I ended up responding to them. I spent about a day and a half on this one. I had to give an Excel spreadsheet detailing all the costs associated with the ambulance, all the invoices relating to the ambulance purchases, all paid checks for the ambulance that I had to put together. They also wanted to know the clarification of when the ambulance was bought, which I told them was 9/28. Description of the project, including the housing of the project, where it would be structured to be built, where it would be put. A summary of the chart to follow the budget page, I did that. A copy of the deed to the property would be helpful to DASNY's review process, which I did get from Joe the other day. So I sent all of that to
Senator Fernandez's office.
Alex
Yes.
on March 1st, Friday. So hopefully we'll get that in, but we took that picture, 4 or 5 months ago, we still don't have it
Yeah.
approved yet. Maybe the picture was too early, I don't know, but for everybody's benefit here, we actually paid out $377,448.11. That's been paid out of the checking account to the ambulance now. That grant, if we get that 300 from Fernandez, is 450. That would leave us about, what,
So yes.
$73,000 to put towards a building or something.
Right.
So what I did more, to answer your question, is all of that I did for the ambulance, all the forms, I kept the same forms for the ambulance thing. Now, will we get 150 from Amy? Because I sent in all those forms already? I don't know. I don't know if Dazzy's gonna say we can't give you that until we get the other one. I could call Dazzy on that though. I could call, that's a Danielle as well.
Okay.
I'll call Danielle and find out.
Probably it's in person.
Because I would like to get that 300, at least 150 of it anyway. So that's where we are with that. That's this grant, that's the reimbursement council grant. And I think that is all I have at this point. Oh, and don't forget, we have the Sergio's meeting on March 21st. And right now, how many people we have? 60?
No, a little bit less.
A little bit less. We'll end up having 60 to 80.
Maybe RSVP's the
Yeah.
before.
Oh.
And
Oh, the other thing with Maura, again, we're looking at different places to put the ambulance, whether it's here, whether it's there, whether it's in my garage, I don't know. But we are looking at something
By that
that,
house next door to you.
that we sent something to George Latimer's office back in, I forget what date it was, but I have the date. And we haven't really heard anything, and then Maura was with George on Sunday. And George asked, "Do we hear anything more?" And I sent Maura what we had. And really, nothing.
So they're back, yeah.
Uh,
And I forwarded it to him.
That's the space next to the post office.
Yes.
Because the last thing that I sent to those people were the deeds and everything else showing it. But, so George is on top of it, I guess, because he mentioned it to Maura.
Yeah.
So, but again, that's just one
Option.
option, and it may not be an option.
Right.
But we still have to follow all the leads we can.
That's right, yeah.
Any questions for me?
No.
Okay.
No, but you brought up COVID. The CDC just changed
rules again.
all the rules, so I will go back to our COVID policy, and I'm gonna have to update it based on what they just came out with, which is, you can come to work pretty much a day after. It's like a
Free.
cold now,
Fever
so.
free.
So there's nothing, there's no
Right.
quarantining, nothing like that, so I will take the policy and I will update it.
You're positive about that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's weird, my health person just,
It was just
It was
yesterday.
just
I know,
Yesterday,
they
the day
just sent it to
before.
me this morning and I thought I still saw the,
One day,
Right.
unless you have, the fever continues to
oh,
have
maybe I was
symptoms.
thinking maybe New York City has a different rule, maybe that's what I was
Could
looking
be.
at, and you were
Oh,
talking
could
about
be.
New York State, okay.
No, I'm talking about the CDC.
The
Yeah.
federal.
CDC, sorry, yes, and
Yeah.
I was looking at, well, we should look at New York State,
Okay.
see if it
I
has
don't-
something
I don't-
specific,
okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, that's right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Public comment. Would anybody like to make a public comment? Well, then, do I have a motion to
So
adjourn the meeting? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wow.